What's going on, everybody? This is BroncoJuggalo, and we are right around the corner from Super Bowl Sunday. It is Slashback Saturday, and I wanted to wear my Super Bowl 50 Bronco jersey, one of them anyways, to remind everybody, fuck the Chiefs, go Broncos. Guys, it is Slashback Saturday, and today's slasher challenge is gaming slashers. I had thought about doing something completely out of the box and going with a movie that's not quote-unquote a traditional slasher. But I changed my mind at the last minute and decided to do a movie that Horrific Nightmares JM suggested to me for the simple fact that I've never seen it before. I wanted to watch it, I had it in my collection, and this was an excuse to watch it. I went with the 2006 film Stay Alive, starring Frankie Muniz as Swink, John Foster as Hutch, Sophia Bush as October, Adam Goldberg from Dazed and Confused as Miller, and directed by William Brent Bell. Now, one cool thing about this movie, it is Disney's only slasher film. It's the only one Disney's ever made. This was put out by Hollywood Video, which is a direct subsidiary of Disney. Now, that is not including any Dimension films that Disney now owns or 20th Century Fox films that Disney now owns. Those were bought in, those were acquired. This was actually made by Disney, and I thought that was pretty cool. Now, this film was released in two different versions, PG-13 and unrated. The PG-13 theatrical cut was given really bad reviews, and the unrated version was given slightly better reviews. Now, the unrated version of this film is about 100 minutes long, about 101 technically, and the PG-13 version is only about 80 minutes long. Now, the PG-13 version does not have as much, of course, adult entertainment as the unrated version, but the unrated version also has an additional character and a completely new subplot added in. And it also has some nudity, which the PG-13 one did not have. Guys, overall, my thoughts on this movie were, it was decent. It was not a bad film. It's not the greatest slasher movie I've ever seen. It's not the greatest horror movie I've ever seen. It kind of falls in that trends of The Ring, Fear.com, things like that. So at first when I was watching this, I was like, well, this isn't really even a slasher. I mean, those are slashers in the way that they're meta slashers, but not in the way that they have an actual physical slasher. Well, then things did kind of change to where it was more in the vein of Dead Silence, where there is an actual slasher. Spoiler alert, the slasher is a ghost. In this movie, a group of gaming friends get a hold of a new video game that hasn't been released yet called Stay Alive. And as they play the game and start to die, they realize that they're being killed off in real life in the exact same way they're being killed off in the game. I decided I'm going to start with the pros this time, guys. I really did enjoy the transition between the game and the movie. It was pretty seamless. They went in and out of the game really well, and I did enjoy that a lot. And I thought it helped add another dimension to the movie. This is, at the time at least, was kind of a unique idea, seeing as how it hadn't been done. It's since been done in a few other movies, including a movie I want to review later on this week. And of course, it's been done in Jumanji, the new Jumanji, where they get sucked into a video game. It was kind of like that in Hellworld. It's not a totally unique concept, but the way it was done in this, at least for the time period, was kind of unique. They did, as I say, take some inspiration, I think, from The Ring and Fear.com and things like that. Overall, though, it was somewhat enjoyable for that point of view. I thought that the director did a really good job. I do enjoy the things he did in the movie. I do like the directing. I like the camera angles, as I said. I like the cinematography. I like the look of the film. I like the way it's shot. I think that the lighting is real good. I think it's very atmospheric. It can be very creepy at times. And that all comes into play with good directing, and I did enjoy that. Overall, guys, I do want to say that the movie is not terrible. It is a good, decent film, but it's not the best. And I do have more cons than I have pros, But overall, the movie itself is kind of a pro overall. It was an enjoyable film. But getting into cons, I want to say that there is a con that I have here. In one of the scenes, our main actor gets a hold, or our main character, he gets a hold of the case files for the murders. And I'm trying to figure out, how does he get a hold of them online even for case files for an active murder investigation? He would have had to hack into the databases of law enforcement to get those, and he just seemed to log in and go on Google well, it wasn't Google, I don't think, it was just some search engine, and find them like really easily, and that made no sense to me. That stuff shouldn't have been released publicly, at least not at that point in time. I didn't like that most of our kills were either cutaway kills or after effect kills. There is some blood, there's a little bit of gore, but all the gore is after effect. There is no actual money shot kills, and I didn't like that. It can work, but in this one, I think it would have been more effective to see more kills. The acting is not the best, in my opinion. A lot of these actors were younger at the time. People like Frankie Muniz did an okay job, but honestly, I don't think any of them did a really good job in this film. The acting is not that great. It's very wooden. You don't really feel any depth or sadness at the funeral scenes or any of that. And it's just like, okay, they're just kind of speaking the dialogue. Final con is that the ending, the big boss battle, or whatever you want to call it, the final confrontation with our ghost killer is very anticlimactic. And it just kind of ends. And I was like, okay, well, that kind of... And it didn't even wrap up the small side story of whether or not they're going to get in trouble, what's going to happen to them. It just kind of ends. And it ends with the game actually being put out and mass distributed into the game store, which looks just like GameStop. And seeing as how they got Game Informer on the being sold, I'm assuming it's GameStop, since Game Informer is a GameStop-owned magazine. But overall, guys, this is still a decent, fun film. Definitely check it out. Definitely get yourself the unrated copy. There is a PG-13 copy I'm going to have to get just to see what's really different. But I think the unrated copy is the only real way to go with this film. Check it out. Check out everybody else doing Slashback Saturday. Big shout out to Joe the Horror Man. This is BroncoJuggalo saying peace.
I am what I am, and that's all that I am. I am what I am, I'm a hooligan. I am what I am, and that's all that I am. I am what I am, I'm a hooligan. I am what I am, and that's all that I am.